Hey guys, this is Patch with Mobius Media Solutions podcast, and we are talking to Chris today about business, so stick around. What's your favorite marketing tool?
My favorite, it's not Facebook. I hate Facebook, even though it's great. My favorite, I think it's Crazy Egg. I think it's or heat mapping tools. I use Crazy Egg. I know there are other ones out there, and it's because you can see what people are clicking on. You can watch them using your site, literally a video of it. So you get to, it's like a laboratory. You get to try something out. You get to tweak a web page with something you think is going to work, and then you can immediately validate as long as you have enough traffic. That's the only caveat with those. You can immediately validate whether it's working or not. And you can identify points that people are trying to use. Like, I know, we've come across situations where you see people clicking on a picture, of a product or an example of the program that you sell. They're clicking on it and it doesn't lead to anything.
Or they're clicking on the PayPal because they want to pay for it, but they can't.
Or the verification thing, and it doesn't explain. And you would never know that.
Right.
You could not look at any Google Analytics. You could not look at any number that's going to tell you that. The only way you'll see it is with that visual representation. And I think there's so much power in that, in the terms of trying to, again, figure out that recipe where you can look at a picture, make a change, refresh it, come back the next day, see a whole new layout of how people are using the web page. They used to scroll down and look in the middle, and then you move the middle section up. So how does that affect where they're looking? How does that affect where they're clicking?
Yep.
And it's really cool. So definitely I think that's my favorite.
I would also say that Crazy Egg is my favorite too.
Shout out to Crazy Egg.
Yeah. Okay, so most valuable piece of advice you're willing to give out to other business owners.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah. Right there, bro.
Because and the only reason I say that is because if you're so many people, and just for lack of an alternative, they go, I feel this is the best thing to do.
Yes.
I think that the color should be this. I want the picture to look like this. It's completely arbitrary, and it has nothing to do with what your customers want. It has nothing to do with what they're telling you they want through looking at the numbers. So the biggest piece of advice that I'm going to give out is you're wrong.
The market is right, and you were wrong.
Look at what people are saying. Pay attention to that, and base every decision off of the data that you're getting.
Man, this one's okay. So, biggest piece of advice that I would be willing to give out is, you truly can learn something every day, and I try very hard to learn something every day. I am, this, but every single day I devote 1 hour of my time to listening to either podcast or reading a book or Audible or something, trying to gain more knowledge. So my biggest piece of advice that I'm willing to give out is constantly just keep learning and trying to strive to pick up more tools for the toolkit. Okay, so biggest failure you had?
Biggest failure ever?
I don't know.
I mean, there's been some bad ones.
It's ever.
Biggest, okay, well,
it
was a long time ago.
I'll make it easier. Biggest failure, business related.
Okay, well, it's kind of all tied together. So, I mean, when you're building something, you have to follow the opportunity. If whatever opportunity is coming your way, you have no idea what it's going to turn into, and whether you know how to do it or not, you gotta follow it. You gotta follow it. Now that's great. However, sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's storybook.
Yep.
There was one time I remember I had an opportunity early on to migrate a website and switch their email provider. Mm-hmm. Whole online business. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm Googling stuff, and I've got this whole plan. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna set an alarm at 3:30 in the morning. I'm gonna flip the, I'm gonna change the. See, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying right now. That's how lost I was. I was supposed to be changing the DNS settings or whatever, and I changed it. Everything looked like it was gonna go okay. I woke up the next day. The website was down. Nobody could send or receive email. The whole company, and I had nobody who I didn't know any web developers at the time. I didn't know any coders. I was just like, I've never felt so helpless. I was calling Network Solutions. I was doing all this. I just had no idea how to fix it. And the whole business was screaming to a halt. Everybody calling me, constantly texting me, emailing me, when's this going to be fixed? So eventually I fixed it. And I mean, that's the one that sticks out the most. I mean, I never, ever touch website migrations, anything to do with email communications, unless either I'm fully confident that the person who's doing it knows what they're doing, or I'm fully confident that I can do it. So,
yep. So my biggest failure, I've done that. I've been guilty of this several times because I guess I either didn't learn my lesson, or like you said, you start dabbling in business. Well, I started when I was young. I started. I was 20. And I started. Everybody's got to start somewhere. But I started, hooking up with different people that were like, hey, come on, help me do this, help me build this. You can have a piece, right? Or we'll be partners or whatever. And I was always in that spot when I was young because I was in the military. I wasn't making any kind of real money, right? Military doesn't get paid for nothing. So I didn't have any money. I didn't have any capital to do anything on my own. So I was always relying on somebody else. And I think I've had 3 or 4 partnerships, right, where they ended up taking the money, and taking the business. And I didn't have any money to fight them, it wasn't. So biggest mistake is not having things in writing, and it's one of the reasons why, unfortunately, I grew up in the country. I grew up on a horse farm, and I watched my grandfather make huge, horse deals with nothing but a handshake and a smile. And I never got taught that lesson. And it was a hard lesson for me to learn. But now, unfortunately, everything you do, you got to have a contract for. So messing around in business, you got to have. Yeah. Yep.
So don't mess around.
Okay. What's your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby. I'm right now it's cryptocurrencies. I don't know. I like finance. I like finding something, and I just get addicted to learning about it. And right now that's my favorite hobby, is trying to figure out how to make all that work and how to project, trying to predict the future a little bit, and looking at it's fun. It's like you look at the history of it's just value. It's not even money or dollars. It's value. How do people define what is valuable, and how do they come to an agreement and exchange it? And over the course of history, it's been, it's evolved, and it started off as what looked pretty, and then it turned into can I put in my pocket, and now it's how do I, everything is a number now, so it's, how do I not pay fees? How do I keep my information secure? So that's my favorite hobby right now. It's learning about that.
Mine is still, and has been for years, is I like to shoot stuff. that's my favorite hobby.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
All right.
Maybe you can show me sometime.
Where do you want to be in 10 years?
Retired.
Yes.
What about you?
Like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retire. Well, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. If money was not, I've been saying this to everybody. If money was not a thing in your life, what would you do? If you didn't need money, what the fuck would you do? I'd be a pizza guy. I would go deliver pizzas. I think that would be really cool. Like, people messing with you and stuff. Like, why not? If I don't need the money, I'll deliver some pizzas, drive around in a little car.
I don't think I would do that. I think if money truly was not an issue for me or my kids or my grandkids or my great grandkids, because that's what I always think about.
Exactly.
Like, I always think about, I don't necessarily think about, just my kids. I'm thinking about, like, 3 generations from now, are they going to still have FU money? Like, that's the way.
They also have to work for it. That's the other thing. They also have to figure out how to
look,
work.
I don't think, I have a young one now that is not yet a teenager, but already, learning programming and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not one to just give handouts, right? But I'll definitely put him in a good spot, so yeah, so I do think about the great grandkids. But if I had zero want or desire for money, like if money just truly wasn't an issue for generations to come, I truly think that I would be an inventor. Like, I think I would literally create a mega workshop to build whatever I could come up with. And I think it would absolutely just be,
It'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I mean, it's like, what do we want to build today? A rocket. Let's have some fun.
Who do you know to build rockets? Nobody. All right. So you'd be doing the same thing that we're doing now.
Exactly.
Be building stuff.
Okay, so I actually like this question. This is, how do you overcome fear?
I get mad at it.
Good for you. Good for you.
I go, how dare you try and get in the way? I used to let it take control of me. It took a pretty awesome mentor of mine to teach me not to be, just literally don't be, I still get afraid, but like, you just got to steamroll through it. You just got to be like, I know,
tear it up.
I know that this is scary. I know that I don't know where I'm going, but who cares?
Yeah.
So
I kind of do the same thing. I mean, I would not say that I'm a very fearful person. I mean, I don't know that I'm completely fearless, because when you're talking about business, I don't think that I fear anything. I think that I prepare for things. Like, I think I don't necessarily plan for the worst and hope for the best, like some people say, because I think it's completely going in with a negative vibe. I'm prepared, but I don't think I plan for the worst. I think I plan for success, and that's why I've been very successful. On the other hand, in my personal life, everybody fears something happening to, family or friends or something like that. But I would honestly say in business, I'm not really scared of anything. I truly do always try to be very educated on a subject, and not go, even when I'm learning, I try not to go in completely dumbfounded by whatever we're talking about. But, I try to do my homework, even if I'm going to see a new product. You and I just had a demo last week for a new software, and we did research on it before we even got on the demo. So,
yeah, yeah, man.
I wouldn't say
you're the and you've got such a strong past too. Like, what in business could ever phase you?
Okay, so this is Patch for the Mobius Podcast, and we will see you next time.
This is Chris.
Hey, thanks so much for checking out this episode of our podcast. If you guys like the content that you just saw, would you do us a favor and go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below? It really helps us know that we're making the right kind of content that you guys want to watch and listen to. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you check out the description box below, we have all of our social media links. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. We post a lot of our behind the scenes stuff and advertisements for podcasts that are coming up. So once again, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.